everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Try New Things, where we're inside the barn today because it's a rainy weekend, and rainy days means indoor projects. And boy, do I have a backlog of indoor projects. But today, the one I think I'm going to work on is another one from my daughter, something else she picked up at a yard sale, and she wants me to spiffy it up a little bit. So today is going to be a bit of a restoration. And here it is, a little work table, study table. Don't know the era, 60s or 70s would be my guess, based on the countertop, the electrical. But she wants me to spiffy it up, shine it up. It is starting to corrode. You can see here on the edge of the drawer. So we do have a fair amount of work to do on this, but the first thing we've got to do is tear it apart. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this light, and then we're going to take off the legs. Now my daughter's been trying to figure out who the manufacturer of this table is, but there's no name on it, and she couldn't find anything online. So if you know, let us know in the comments below. There isn't a whole lot to this table. We're getting the last screw out of the last leg, and we'll get on to polishing and cleaning. Not sure how this is going to come out in the light. What I'm trying to show you, hopefully without too much reflection, is that the chrome is starting to pit and tarnish. And what I'm going to try to do is use the old buffing wheel, see if we can polish that out. Seems to be working okay. So I'm going to keep going and I'll check back in with you. All right, I just spared you guys a couple hours of polishing, and hopefully this comes through. There's going to be my fingerprint still on there. I'm quite pleased with the way the legs came out, about 95% better. Still a little bit of pitting, but not much. And I can definitely live with that. I also polished the chrome rails that go on the top. And what I'm most impressed with is how this lamp turned out. That went from dull and grimy to super polished. See on the inside, can't really do it, but that's what the outside was like. So the next thing we're going to move on to is the drawer and see what we can do with that. So I've been messing around with this drawer for a little bit, and it's originally painted, and try cleaning it up, and there's nothing I can do that's going to preserve the paint, which makes my decision pretty easy on how we're going to do the drawer. We're just going to clean it the rest of the way up, repaint it. But that's going to wait till last. So for now, let's go ahead and start putting the table back together. We can always add the drawer when the paint's dry. There, legs are back on. You know, this has been a okay project to work on. So far, this hasn't been the hardest project that my daughter's brought me home to work on, so I appreciate that. And I think it's going to turn out to look pretty sharp in the end. Now, what this was originally used for, what its original intent was, I don't know. With the wheels on it, to me it seems like maybe something you would see in an old age home back in the day, where you'd roll it up to someone in a chair so they can work on their puzzle, that kind of thing. I don't know. Just a guess on my part. And now it's out of frame. And the table's got these little chrome guardrails on it, which again makes me think elderly, maybe child's table. These little guardrails, I'm assuming, is to keep things from rolling off. It's also a really neat accent detail. Another job for today is to replace this sketchy plug with a new one. We'll go ahead and get that done today as well. Well, we had a lot of fun doing that little project, mostly a spiffy or a shine-up job. Not so much a restoration, but it looks a ton better than it did when she bought it at the yard sale. So here are some shots of the table back at the house and out of the clutter and mess of the barn. Looks a heck of a lot better there than it does here. But anyway, that's going to be a wrap on another video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you've got any comments or questions, leave them below. Before you head out, give this video a big old thumbs up if you would. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye-bye. So now we're going to take a quick break to thank this week's sponsor. And this week's sponsor, like every week's sponsor, is me, Chris Gladstone with TNT Try New Things, where I have started a new website link. Partnering with Buy Me a Coffee is an opportunity for you to check out some of the items I have for sale that you have probably watched the videos on me making. It's also an opportunity to sponsor the channel directly, either through buying me a coffee, or if you're feeling particularly generous, signing up for an annual membership. With that, I'm going to go back to the video.